And so we're going to get started. Buenas tardes, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, parents, families, students. Buenas tardes, familia, padres, estudiantes. Soy el señor García, otra vez su servidor, el director, Mr. Garcia, your principal. So we're here today because we have some great information, good information for all 8th grade students and families as we get close to the end of our school year. And in front, we have some staff members, and I'm going to have them each introduce themselves. Padres, tenemos hoy una junta muy importante con información que van a necesitar para ustedes y los estudiantes de 8º grado. Y con eso tenemos aquí personal que se va a presentar. Entonces vamos a empezar con el subdirector.
Hello, everybody. Javier Gonzalez, your assistant principal. I'm happy to see all of you here. We see over 150 attendees, and we hope to see over 400 students participating in our culmination. Buenas tardes, padres. Soy su subdirector Javier González. Me da gusto de que tenemos un alto número de participantes el día de hoy, pero queremos ver a todos ustedes el día 9 aquí para la culminación. Gracias.
Thank you. Gracias, señor González. Next, we have our lead counselor.
Good evening. I'm Mrs. Esparza. I'm the lead counselor. Buenas tardes. Soy Mrs. Esparza, la consejera Leder.
Gracias. And then we have our main counselor of the day, of the year.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Ms. País. I'm the 8th grade counselor. Buenas tardes a todos los papás aquí en nuestra junta. Yo soy Ms. País, la consejera del 8º grado.
Thank you. Gracias, Ms. País. Y también tenemos con nosotros el director de tecnología. Por favor.
Hi, everyone. My name is Danny Ruelas. I'm the technician here at Nimitz. Buenas tardes. Soy el técnico aquí en la escuela de Nimitz.
Bueno, gracias, Danny. Thank you, Mr. Ruelas. So, padres, familias, vamos a seguir adelante. We're going to continue. We have a lot of information. So again, I welcome all of you, and I'm going to get right into it with all the information. Vamos a entrar rápido a toda la información que tenemos para ustedes hoy. Entonces, con eso, señorita País, por favor, Ms. País, please take it from here. Muy bien, as we get our technology, and there it is, class of 2021.
Sorry,
Sorry, I was muted. Okay, hello, everyone. Today's presentation is going to cover a lot of information for 8th grade students. It's information, a lot of the information is information that has already been covered in the past, either at previous 8th grade meetings that we have had, or also at the various meetings that I had with your child, with the students throughout the semester. And then new information on what our culmination is going to look like, okay? So la información que les voy a presentar el día de hoy es muy similar a información que he presentado anteriormente en diferentes citas o juntas que hemos tenido para los papás y los estudiantes del 8º grado, y luego también las diferentes citas que yo he tenido con los estudiantes durante el año acerca de la culminación. Y luego nueva información de cómo va a ser nuestra culminación este año, okay? So first of all, congratulations, felicidades a todos los papás, los estudiantes de la clase 2021. Congratulations, parents and students, class of 2021. So I do want to start off by just our agenda. We are going to review culmination and academic requirements. We're going to review our culmination plan, the requirements for the culmination attendees and the LAUSD COVID testing sites and vaccines. Vamos a repasar requisitos de culminación, el plan y requisitos referentes a lo que se va a necesitar o para poder asistir a la culminación, las pruebas de COVID y los exámenes o los exámenes que van a estar disponibles para ustedes para que se hagan el examen y la vacuna. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start the meeting by talking a little bit about culmination requirements. Again, this is something that I had previously spoken to all of you about. Hopefully you attended one of the previous meetings that I had, and your children also are aware of this. So as part of the main requirement for this year is to earn a minimum of 50 credits throughout the 8th grade year. So in the 8th grade year, your child must have earned at least 50 credits to be eligible to receive the middle school certificate or the middle school diploma. Okay, so este año el requisito más importante es los créditos, okay, para que los estudiantes puedan recibir el certificado. Era requerente que los estudiantes obtenieran un mínimo de 50 créditos en el 8º grado. Y los estudiantes reciben 5 créditos por cada clase académica que reciban una D o mejor, ¿ok? Y más adelante voy a repasar qué significa cada clase o cómo reciben esos créditos, ¿ok? Another requirement is that all textbooks and library books must be returned and fines must be paid. La tecnología, los libros, todo lo que se le ha prestado a su hijo, el iPad, el Chromebook, los cargadores, todo eso tiene que ser, lo tienen que regresar a la escuela. Es muy importante que los estudiantes regresen toda la tecnología y todo lo que se les ha prestado a la escuela. Y también es importante que sigan la asistencia, ¿verdad? Tenemos un porcentaje de 95% que los estudiantes no pueden faltar más de 7 días. So returning technology, returning books, and then also the attendance. So we have a percentage rate of 95%. So no more than 7 absences throughout the year. Of course, with this pandemic, with everything that has happened, we are going to go case by case. Some students, we're not going to hold all students for this. We're talking particularly about those kids who miss a lot of school, but for the most part, our main focus will be the 50 credits. Con la pandemia, con todo lo que hemos pasado este año, aunque siempre hemos tenido el requisito de la asistencia, es algo en lo que vamos a ser un poco menos estricto este año y nos vamos a enfocar más en los créditos y asegurarnos que sus hijos, los estudiantes, tengan los créditos necesarios. Okay, so our main focus is going to be the 50 credits. Okay, so how do students receive the credits? This is a very basic and this is something that I have covered with your child in the past. Cómo los estudiantes reciben los créditos. Esto es algo muy básico. Los estudiantes toman 6 clases académicas, que es la clase de inglés, la clase de matemáticas, historia, educación física, ciencia y una clase electiva, ¿ok? So son 6 clases académicas y cada clase, si pasan la clase con una D o mejor, los estudiantes reciben los 5 créditos. Los estudiantes no reciben créditos por cada clase, por la clase que reprueben. So, si agarran una F, no agarran los créditos, okay? So, students are required to earn, or students can earn 5 credits for each academic class that they pass. The academic classes include English, math, history, science, PE, and their electives. So, those are their 6 academic classes. They earn 5 credits for each class that they earn a D or better. So the only grade that doesn't give them the credit is a fail. So if your child received a fail in any final report card, then they didn't receive the credits, okay? This year, students also took advisory. Este año también los estudiantes tomaron la clase de asesoramiento. Esa clase también les dio crédito este año, que fue algo positivo para la mayoría de los estudiantes, porque les da 5 créditos más en un año. So, en un semestre, si pasan la clase de advisory, son 2.5 créditos, okay? So, advisory has helped many students this year. Students who earn a passing grade in advisory earn 2.5 credits. And in the year in itself, there's a possible 5 credits. So the possible credits each semester is 32.5. and the possible credits for the whole 8th grade year is 65. And your child needs a minimum of 50 credits to be able to participate in the event and be eligible to receive the middle school certificate or the middle school diploma. Okay? All right. And I know if you guys have questions, we will be answering questions because I know this is a little confusing. And so if you're also wondering how your child, if your child has enough credits or how many credits your child has, you could look at their final fall report card and see the amount of credits that they got, okay? So para esto también los estudiantes recibieron crédito para la clase de aula. Los créditos posibles en un semestre que pudieron recibir son 32.5 y los créditos posibles en un año son 65 créditos. Y su hijo o hija necesita por lo menos 50 créditos para ser elegible a la culminación. Si ustedes tienen la calificación final del otoño, la última que recibieron en diciembre, ahí les puede mostrar los créditos y cuántos créditos recibieron en la porción de abajo o contando cada clase y mirando qué créditos, cuántos créditos agarró. Una calificación de D o mejor les da los 5 créditos. La única calificación que no les da los créditos es una F, que es una calificación de reprobar. Okay. Okay, so nuestro evento de culminación va a ser el miércoles 9 de junio. Our culmination event will be on Wednesday, June 9th. This event is going to start with a virtual message and our virtual speakers at 8 a.m. And you will be receiving this information through your child and also in a letter you will be receiving at home. And then following the principal's message and the speaker and our virtual start of the ceremony, then we will move on from 9 o'clock to 5 p.m. There will be an in-person student procession in which your child will come to school. They will return their materials. They will pick up some things that we have for them, like their pin and ribbon, their diploma. If your child is going to receive any type of award or anything, it will also be given to them on this day. So nuestro evento de culminación es el miércoles 9 de junio. El comienzo del evento es a las 8 de la mañana. Es un evento virtual. Comienza con el mensaje del director, los mensajes de los estudiantes que van a dar un speech virtual. Esperamos que todos los estudiantes se conecten para que oigan el mensaje y ya siguiendo el mensaje del director, vamos a comenzar la procesión de estudiantes en persona de 9 de la mañana a 5 de la tarde y hay un schedule, hay un horario que se tiene que seguir y ese lo voy a mostrar más adelante. Okay. Okay. So, ¿cómo va a ser nuestro evento? Nuestro evento va a comenzar en la área de donde los niños del octavo grado entran, ¿ok? En el portón donde los niños del octavo grado entran. De ahí van a seguir a donde está el frente de la biblioteca a regresar sus libros y luego siguen hacia el área de zacate o el stage que tenemos y luego van a entregar la tecnología. Van a después recoger si es que tienen algún certificado o medalla o algo que van a recibir, lo recogen ahí. En esta parte también vamos a mirar la elegibilidad de su hijo, ¿ok? O de su hija. Si su hijo o su hija no es elegible a la culminación y no tiene los 50 créditos, él o ella no va a poder pasar hacia recibir el diploma porque no es elegible a recibir el diploma, pero sí le vamos a dar su listón, su pin and ribbon y su sign que dice que es un estudiante que pasa a la high school para que lo pongan afuera, ya sea en el zacate o fuera de la casa. So eso sí lo van a recibir y ellos van a salir por la puerta principal. Los otros estudiantes siguen hacia el stage, hacia donde se van a presentar, se les va a llamar su nombre. Ahí va a estar el director, el subdirector y yo les voy a entregar su diploma y luego salen hacia afuera. Ya cuando salen, vamos a tener 2 oportunidades donde los estudiantes van a poder tomarse una foto. Vamos a crear algo bonito para que se puedan tomar una foto. Y si quieren comprar fotos que se tomaron con el capuchón y de graduación, lo pueden hacer también ese día. Okay, sorry, and I think I've only been talking in Spanish, huh? Do I need to go back? Okay, so for, I know, for, should I go back to this one? Yeah, okay. Oh, wait, no, how do I go back? There we go. Okay. Should I go to this one again or no, we're good? No, okay.
Yes,
Credit
do that. Do that one.
Credit. Okay, sorry, I just kind of ran on a rant in Spanish. So yeah, so back to the credit requirements, the students who have not earned, who need to earn the 50 credits, they received 5 credits for each academic class. Each academic class is worth 5 credits. They take 6 classes, and that's a total of 30 credits. And then advisory gives them 2.5 credits. So the total possible credits per semester is 32.5, and the total possible credits for 8th grade is 65. Okay, and your child needs 50 credits to be able to participate. Oh, okay. Is this next? Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, what I was saying earlier was that, so your child is going to have an opportunity to cross the stage. They're going to be entering the 8th grade gate. Once they enter the 8th grade gate, they're going to drop off their books and technology right by the library. They will then follow through to picking up any awards or certificates that they might have received, or medals, if they're undergrads or anything like that. At this point, also, we will be checking the eligibility list. If your child does not meet the 50 credit requirement, then they will not continue on to the stage. They will exit, but then they will still receive their pin and ribbon, and they will still receive their yard sign. And that is something that is just part of being an 8th grader. And then you will also have an opportunity to use the outside photo booth. And if they bought a yearbook, you would be able to get a yearbook. Or if they took pictures through Photorama with the cap and gown, I believe we're going to ask them to see if they can be there so that you can purchase those pictures if they are available, or pick up pictures or anything like that they might have. Your child will cross the stage, as it was mentioned. Their name will be called. You will have an opportunity to come in the front of the stage with your child, or in the front of the stage while your child is crossing the stage, and take a picture. So that's going to be a particular moment just for you and your child. There will be nobody blocking your picture. There will be nobody in front of you. It will be all you and your child, and you will be able to take that picture. And then you'll exit, and then they will pick up their yard sign and the other things once they exit. Okay. And I know you guys might have questions, and we will open up for questions at the end. Okay, so sé que a lo mejor van a tener preguntas, y más adelante al final vamos a responder algunas preguntas. Okay. Okay. So what are the requirements for attendings at the Culmination? ¿Cuáles son los requisitos para los asistentes de la Culminación? Okay. So es mandatorio que se use adecuadamente el cubrebocas para todos los que asistan. So it is mandatory to properly wearing the face mask for all attendings, parents or whoever is coming with the student and the student. It is important to continue to maintain the 6 feet apart unless you're in the same household. Es importante que los que asistan a la culminación mantengan 6 pies de distancia, solo que sean del mismo hogar. And participating students must have a negative COVID test on file at least 14 days by June 2nd. So es mandatorio que los estudiantes tengan un resultado de COVID negativo en record más tardar del 2 de junio. Okay, so es muy importante que tomen esto o que hagan esto antes, porque no los vamos a dejar entrar si no tienen un examen de COVID negativo. Okay, y solamente el estudiante necesita un examen negativo de COVID. Okay. Okay, so with that being said, we will be having COVID testing opportunities. Vamos a tener oportunidades para que se puedan hacer el examen de COVID. En la escuela Nimitz, esta semana, el miércoles y el jueves, pueden ir de 2:30 a 4 sin cita a hacerse el examen, ¿ok? Los estudiantes solamente, ¿ok? Y luego la próxima semana, el miércoles, jueves y viernes al mismo horario, vamos a tener esto disponible para que puedan ir los estudiantes a hacerse el examen de COVID, ¿ok? No es necesario que hagan una cita, solo tienen que entrar y Mr. Gonzalez, they're going to come in through the Loma Vista gate. Is that correct?
Hi, Ms. Pais, and hello, everybody. As far as the entrance, we're trying to work it out because we do have the program in the back, so we'll go ahead and make that announcement. But we do want to emphasize that that students that are taking classes on campus, you will be taking the test during class time. So don't worry about coming after school. This message really goes out for those students that are involved in distance learning, and that we invite you to come on campus. Así que el portón de entrada lo tenemos que finalizar porque tenemos unos programas que están todavía vigentes aquí en la escuela y no queremos que haya mucho conflicto, ¿verdad? En las áreas. Pero quiero también enfatizar de que esta oportunidad para que jóvenes tomen el examen de 2:30 a 4 es para los que están tomando sus clases a la distancia. Así que los jóvenes que están asistiendo a las clases aquí con nosotros en la escuela, ellos van a tomar el examen durante las horas escolares. Es que no se tienen que preocupar de que tengan que regresar después de escuela.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Okay, so yeah, these are going to be COVID testing opportunities. Estas van a ser oportunidades para que ustedes puedan traer a sus hijos a que se le hagan el examen para que puedan ser partícipes en el evento de culminación. So this is we work this out so that we can have all these testing dates for you and for your child, so that we ensure that we get as many participants as we can at our event. And then also, if none of these days work for you, si ninguno de estos días funciona para ustedes, en la escuela Gage, el sábado 5 de junio también van a estar dando el examen. Y es muy importante que si lo van a hacer en Gage o que si no lo van a hacer en uno de estos días, que lo hagan en Gage, porque hacerlo después del 5 corren el riesgo de que no tengan los resultados antes del miércoles, okay? So you will also have the opportunity to test at Gage Middle School. It is important not to go past the 5th, only because you run the risk of not having the results by Wednesday, the 9th, which is our event. And again, if you're not on the list, then you will not be allowed to enter. So si no están en la lista de que se hicieron el examen y es negativo, no van a poder ser partícipes en el evento. For Gage Middle School, they are recommending an appointment. Para la escuela Gage, están recomendando una cita, que haga usted una cita. Y puede ir al link del dailypass.lausd.net. So, y ahí pueden registrarse y tratar de hacer una cita. So if you do end up going to Gage, please make an appointment. If you already know now that you will not be able to make any of these days, I recommend that you please make your appointment. Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Pais. I also want to add that obviously we are not the only school that's having a culmination or a graduation during this time. So there's a possibility that you might not get an appointment to test at Gage. If you are not able to land an appointment for the 5th, we do ask that you do a walk-up, show up, but be there before 2:45. Okay, so they'll take walk-ups up until 2:45, but preferably have an appointment before you attend. Es que reconociendo de que no somos los únicos que vamos a tener una ceremonia aquí durante la segunda semana de junio, les sugerimos de que hagan la cita. Si se van a esperar hasta el día 5, no recomendable, pero si van a tomar el examen en Gage, les recomendamos de que tengan una cita ya, que la hagan por medio de la plataforma Daily Pass, pero en el dado caso de que no puedan hacer reservación, preséntense antes de las 2:45. Les van a honrar si llegan antes de las 2:45, ya después no se le puede garantizar. Y el día 5 en realidad va a ser casi el último día que pueden tomar el examen, porque los resultados puede que duren 2-3 días para que nos lleguen y nos den a conocer si salieron negativos.
Thank you. Moving forward. Oops. Okay. Okay, so as part of also the COVID testing, it is important that you understand that there must be a consent form on file. Si su hijo es parte del programa híbrido, esto no va a aplicar para ustedes, porque si están viniendo a la escuela ya les estamos haciendo el examen, así es que ya hay una forma de consentimiento en el sistema para su hijo o su hija. Ahora, si su hijo está continuando en el programa de distancia, hay una gran posibilidad de que su hijo o su hija no tenga una forma de consentimiento para hacerse el examen, ¿ok? So it is important that your child has a consent form. If your child is in the hybrid program, you will not need this, but if your child has continued in the distance learning program, there's a big possibility that your child will need a consent form, okay? So todos los estudiantes deben de tener el formulario de consentimiento. All students must have a signed consent form. If your child does not have a signed consent form, you must accompany your child to do the COVID test. ¿Ok? Si su hijo o hija no tiene el formulario de consentimiento firmado, ustedes deben acompañarlos para que se hagan el examen, porque no los vamos a poder hacer el examen si no tienen una forma de consentimiento o si no viene un papá o un guardián con ellos. ¿Ok? So pueden ustedes imprimir la forma, la pueden imprimir y me parece que Mr. Gonzalez, will you be dropping the link on the website, on the chat? So va a haber Mr. Gonzalez va a poner en el chat la aplicación. Ustedes la pueden imprimir o la pueden, si hay manera de que la puedan llenar por medio de la computadora, la pueden llenar, la pueden firmar electrónicamente y me la pueden mandar a mí, okay? So if you are interested in filling out the form, Mr. Gonzalez will be putting the document on the chat or a link on where you can find the form. And you can either download it and fill it out and email it to me, or you could print it and send your child with that signed consent form, okay? So si la imprime, la puede mandar con su hijo a la escuela, y si la quiere llenar por medio de electrónicamente, me la puede mandar a mí, a mi email, okay? And my email is there. Ese es mi correo electrónico donde la pueden mandar. Anything that I missed? Okay. Goodness. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is our culmination schedule. Este va a ser el horario de la culminación. Los estudiantes van a venir por clase de asesoramiento, ¿ok? So como les comentábamos, el evento comienza a las 8 de la mañana con una ceremonia virtual con el mensaje del director. Va a ser un mensaje en vivo. Y con los mensajes de los estudiantes representantes que van a dar su speech, ¿ok? Eso comienza a las 8. Y si ustedes pueden ver aquí, comenzando a las 9, tenemos a 3 diferentes grupos, el de Ms. Reese, Ms. Ziegler y Ms. Wickens. A las 10, Ms. Vega, Ms. Toth, Mr. Sainz, y luego así sigue. So, su hijo o su hija va a buscar su maestro de aula y ese es el horario que le va a tocar. A esa hora tiene que venir, ¿ok? Es muy importante que llegue a la hora designada, ¿ok? Tenemos que tratar de no tener mucha gente al mismo tiempo. So, por favor, les recomendamos que vengan a su hora designada, ¿ok? So, this is our culmination schedule. Our culmination will begin at 8 a.m. with the virtual ceremony. Led by our principal. It will be a live event, and then we will have our student speaker who will also give their speech. And then following that, starting at 9 o'clock, your son or daughter will have to see who their advisory teacher is, and that's the time that they will come in. So if your child has Ms. Nava as the advisory teacher, they would come in at 1 o'clock. So it is important that your child arrives at the designated time to avoid crowds and to ensure that we don't have too many people here at the same time. So this is a very important component or very important part of all this. Okay. Something else that I forgot to mention, and I actually forgot to put on here, is we will only be allowing 3 three people for each student. So it will be the child and 3 additional people. And children, not our student, but other children count as a person. So it will be only 3 people. We will not allow more than 3 people. Again, we have guidelines that we have to follow. So if anybody comes with more than 3 people, we will be asking them to go to the exit gate and wait for their family there, okay? So es muy importante que recuerden que vamos a tener un límite de 3 personas por estudiante, o va a ser el estudiante y 3 personas más, ¿ok? Un niño o una niña menor cuentan como una persona, ¿ok? So solamente 3 personas. Si traen más de 3 personas, vamos a pedir que esperen en el portón de salida para cuando salga el estudiante, ¿ok? So eso es algo muy importante que vamos a ser muy estrictos con. So es muy importante que por favor piensen desde ahorita quién van a ser las 3 personas, porque no vamos a permitir más de 3 personas. Tenemos que seguir las reglas que nos da el distrito. Así es que es muy importante que recuerden eso. So remember, no more than 3 per student. So it would be the student and then 3 additional people. Okay, so I think there's one more slide and I'm going to let Mr. Gonzalez talk about this one.
Thank you, Ms. Paez. And I do want to start by clarifying that in order for students to participate in the culmination, the requirement is to have a COVID test, not the vaccine. Okay, so again, to clarify, you need a COVID test in order to participate. The district is rolling out opportunities for our students 12 and over to have the vaccine or to take the vaccine. We have here that on screen that at Gage Middle School, every Wednesday evening from 5 to 7, parents can take their kids to that middle school to go ahead and receive the vaccine. Nimitz students need to be accompanied by their parents. Just do know that as a parent, you need to take your child if you're gonna have him or her receive the vaccine. Not on screen here, but do know that on June the 1st, between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m., we are going to be offering the vaccine here on campus. But again, I don't want to give you too much information, but as far as the vaccine's available for 12 and over, but bringing it back to the topic of culmination, your child needs to have an updated test, not the vaccine. Okay, and so that's why we're making these opportunities for your child to have that test. Padres, a lo que se refiere del evento de culminación, queremos enfatizar de que el requisito es de que los jóvenes tengan un examen COVID, un examen reciente que esté archivado con el distrito, ¿verdad? La vacuna no es requerida, pero se está ofreciendo. Aquí en pantalla pueden ver de que los miércoles entre 5 y 7 pueden llevar a sus hijos a la escuela Gage para recibir la vacuna y el día 1 de junio aquí en nuestra escuela se va a ofrecer entre 11 y 7. Pero no quiero confundirlos mucho. Lo que sí es de que sepan de que un examen COVID es requerido. ¿Okay?
So I know that there are many questions and I'm just going to start off by answering the ones that are on here. So yo sé que hay muchas preguntas, so is it okay or should we ask? No, okay. So vamos a comenzar con las preguntas que están aquí. Una de las preguntas es, how do I know if I'm going to culminate or not? So una de las preguntas es, ¿cómo voy a saber si voy a poder, si puedo culminar o no? So how will you know? So we will be calling all students who are not eligible. Okay, les vamos a estar hablando por teléfono todos los estudiantes que no sean elegibles, okay? It is very, very, very important that you please make sure that we have the correct phone number in the system, okay? Es muy importante que se aseguren, por favor, que tengamos el número correcto en el sistema, ¿ok? So, si mañana tienen que hablar para ver si el número es correcto, por favor, les pedimos que hagan eso. It is also important to make sure that our school number is not blocked, okay? Es muy importante también que se aseguren que el número de la escuela Nimitz no esté bloqueado. He tenido muchas situaciones en las que trato de llamar por medio del número del teléfono y se va directamente a buzón y luego cuando llamo por mi celular entra la llamada. So, eso indica que el número de la escuela está bloqueado, okay? So, there has been many times where I have made calls and when I use the school's number, the call goes straight to voicemail. And then when I try to call on my cell phone, then the number goes, the call goes through. So please make sure, just check. Sometimes the students are a little bit sneaky and they know how to block numbers. So please double check that our school number is not blocked so that you can receive that call. Okay, so asegúrense que tengamos el acceso, that we have the right number in the system and that our school number is not blocked so that we can make sure that we communicate with you if your child will not culminate. Okay?
Ms. Pais,
Yes.
I just want to clarify. We have questions in the chat and we have questions in the Q&A. So I'm just wondering if, Mr. Gonzalez, how do we maneuver? Do we answer chat and then go back and forth so that we go down a system? Mrs. Esparza, what do you think?
We're going to answer all the questions in the Q&A, and then we'll go to the chat and answer those questions, and then we'll take live questions if there's any left.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
So the next question in the Q&A is, are there going to be valedictorians this year? And the answer is yes, there are going to be valedictorians. And actually those are going to be announced on Thursday at our 8th grade awards ceremony. It's a virtual ceremony and it will be announced there, and they will also be recognized at the ceremony.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and translate. La pregunta que se hizo, que si va a haber los jóvenes designados como valedictorians, y disculpen que no tengo la traducción, pero son los que han sobresalido en las calificaciones y son los que típicamente son reconocidos, ¿verdad? La respuesta es que sí. Así que muy merecido el reconocimiento y sí se van a reconocer durante nuestra ceremonia de culminación.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Were you going to answer the next one?
No, I was going to see if Mr. Gonzalez could go ahead and answer that one, or you. Yes.
Okay, next question. For the 27th, is that for everybody or for Magnet? On Thursday, we have our virtual awards assembly. So that's online and that's for all students. Es que la pregunta referido al día 27, el jueves a las 5 de la tarde, que así nomás es para jóvenes o para familias del programa Magnet o para todos. Ese es un reconocimiento para todas las familias para que puedan asistir. Es reconocimiento virtual donde se van a reconocer los jóvenes que han sobresalido este año escolar.
So and it's by invitation. So if your child received a letter, that means they're going to receive an award. If your child did not get invited to this, it's because they're not part of it. So it is because I do see the next question is, does every student attend the award ceremony or only those that receive the invitation? It's the students that receive the invitation, but anybody is welcome to attend. But we did ensure that all the students who will be receiving a award to attend. Okay. If we go to a different testing center, how can we get the results to you?
If I may answer that question, by a different testing center, ideally the recommendation is to go to an LAUSD site. That makes things a lot easier because your test results are inputted into the LAUSD system and it minimizes issues. If you go to a non-LAUSD site, you have to provide us with the proof. The district needs to ensure that it's an acceptable test, and so that needs to be provided to us, which kind of tells you that it will require more time for us to upload and then for the district to approve it. So by all means, if you have the flexibility and the option to test at an LAUSD site, do so. Es que la pregunta que si van a un lugar diferente fuera de aquí de la escuela a tomar el examen, ¿cómo cómo nos van a dar a conocer los resultados? La respuesta es de que si tienen la opción de hacerlo en una escuela del distrito, háganlo aquí, por favor, porque va a facilitar el proceso. Puede que se prolonga más si sus resultados o si los exámenes lo toman fuera del distrito, porque después tenemos que entregar ese documento para que fue aprobado. ¿Qué pasa si el examen lo toman en otro local? Nos tienen que traer a nosotros el documento, aunque también, si no me equivoco, en la plataforma Daily Pass también ustedes lo pueden subir ahí, ¿verdad? Lo pueden entregar. Pero estamos aquí dispuestos para ayudarlos si es que ocupan ayuda, pero preferible tomen el examen aquí con nosotros o en otra escuela aquí del distrito.
Okay. Okay, the next question is, will you be able to culminate if you had bad grades before, but got your grades up this last report card? So la pregunta es si voy a poder participar en la culminación, si tuve calificaciones bajas anteriormente, pero ahora ya las subí. I would have to check, it's a case by case. Low could mean that you got enough credits last semester or that you didn't. So you would have to check in with me, okay? So you can send me a Schoology message or you can call me. I'm working from the office now, so you can call Nimitz and then they would transfer you to me. So ella pregunta que si puede participar basado en las calificaciones, tendría que ver las calificaciones o eso es caso por caso, cada estudiante es diferente. Se pueden comunicar conmigo, por favor, me pueden llamar a la escuela o me pueden mandar un mensaje por email o me pueden mandar un mensaje por Remind, ¿ok? Y yo puedo revisar, pero cada caso es diferente, so I would have to check. And then the next one is, can we have a checklist of the school property we need to return? So nos pueden proveer una lista de lo que los estudiantes deben de regresar.
I'll start with the textbooks. I'll keep it really simple for textbooks. It's only 2 books that you have to return. Your English book, which is a black one, California Connections, and the red history book. Those are the ones with the hard cover. All the other books with the soft cover, pamphlets, the consumables, the ones that you're able to write on, they are yours. You don't have to return those. Es que empezando con qué es lo que se tienen que regresar. Los libros son 2 libros, el de inglés, uno negro, llamado con el título California Connections, o el de historia, US History, historia de los Estados Unidos. Ambos tienen la pasta gruesa. Todos los demás libros que recibieron sus hijos, que son cuadernos o pasta más suavecita, eso no tienen que regresarlo. As far as technology, that varies with each individual. You might have an iPad that maybe you did not make the exchange for a Chromebook. So there's a chance that you might have an iPad. There's a chance that you might have a Chromebook, maybe a hotspot, the charging cables. So it's on a case by case, but so please, we do ask that you check. If not, we do have the technology Schoology page. And if you wanna message our technology coordinator, maybe you can go ahead and let you know, because he has to look in his database. A lo que se refiere a tecnología, va a variar con cada persona, pero es posible que su hijo tenga un iPad, tenga un Chromebook y luego los cables para cargar o un dispositivo para internet. Es que una opción sería de que su hijo en la plataforma de Schoology, asistencia de tecnología, nos puede mandar un mensaje al coordinador de tecnología y él ya en su archivo puede verificar qué es lo que su hijo debe al distrito.
Sorry, Mr. Gonzalez, we also need back the ELD books. Any books that are hardcover is what they need to return.
Thank you.
And algebra.
Oh, okay. I apologize. So let's add so if your child is in the ELD program, or if you're in the ELD program, again, hardcover, those need to come back. And I do apologize. I cannot forget about our algebra students. Those are some pretty expensive books, so please return them. Si su hijo tomó álgebra o es aprendiz de inglés que tiene los libros nuevamente de la pasta gruesa, también los tienen que regresar. Es que las abejitas o los tigres o los osos polares, ¿verdad?
Okay, and how can you ensure that your child returns the books? The day that they return them, they can check for you to see if they owe anything else. And yes, you can call me. I'm available if you are wondering if your child is eligible or not. After our virtual culmination at 8 o'clock, you will then continue on to school. This is the schedule that you'll have to follow to be part of our procession. And these are the times. And then what else? There is a dress code. We will, like I said, you will be getting all this information in a letter that will be sent home. For the dress code, we just ask that you dress appropriately. No big gowns, no spaghetti straps, kind of the usual, something formal if you'd like, I mean, semi-formal if you'd like. But we do ask, you know, no crop tops or things like that that wouldn't be appropriate for school. And again, you will be receiving a letter with that information. Okay.
Sorry,
so-
also that we do not wear cap and gown for the
Yes.
ceremony.
Yes.
Can
no.
I mention something about the cap and gown? Okay, so cap and gown is only for the pictures that were offered this past Thursday. Yeah, we had a great turnout, but if you're still interested in taking pictures, they will be back Wednesday, June the 2nd, and that's going to be from 2:30 to 4:30. Así que hubo una buena respuesta de jóvenes que decidieron tomarse las fotos con el gorro y la toga. No es necesario, así que no es necesario, así que no se preocupen si no tienen uno suyo, pero los que desean tomar fotos de culminación van a tener vamos a ofrecer otra vez el día miércoles 2 de junio de 2:30 a 4:30.
Okay, so yeah, so
And-
no se les va a dar cap and gown. Students will now receive a cap and gown for this event. They never do. Middle school, we never have a cap and gown for middle school culmination. Nunca hemos tenido una toga y el gorro para la culminación de middle school. Okay, o por lo menos aquí en la escuela Nimitz. Okay.
What
So-
about flags? Someone asked about flags.
I'm not
Wearing
sure.
a flag, like say United States flag. They want to wear one around their body.
No, it would have to just be regular clothing, no flags.
So the dress code should be like what you would wear, like if you're going to church or to a party of some kind, not other things. So there's no tuxedos, none of those things. So a flag is not an article of clothing, therefore a flag should not be worn.
Mr. Gonzalez, do parents need to get COVID tested?
Parents do not need to have a negative COVID test. What parents and everybody's going to be going through is our screening. So we do ask students to do the daily pass. If everybody can do daily pass, things will go much faster. And so please, so the negative test is for students only, the requirement. Es que el examen, prueba de examen negativo COVID es para los jóvenes que van a participar aquí en el evento. Pero lo que sí les vamos a pedir a todos aquí presentes, incluyendo los empleados, es que se les va a hacer el chequeo médico antes de entrar aquí a la escuela, pero preferible que si pueden tener su pase del Daily Pass antes de llegar aquí, nos va a facilitar mucho y nos va a permitir que la línea se mueva mucho más rápido.
Okay, and then so if you work and you cannot bring your child to get COVID tested, but you have someone that can, like an older sibling, they will still need to sign the consent form. So if you, right, Mr. Gonzalez? If you give that person permission to sign, then you should be okay. Okay,
They can
so
also bring the test. I'm sorry. They can also bring the form from home. So if you get a copy of the form, sign it. That way your child can bring it. That will suffice. Así que en dado caso que usted no pueda, si está trabajando, no puede traer a su hijo a tomar la prueba después de escuela, mientras traiga el formulario firmado y si hay alguien mayor que lo pueda acompañar, preferible, ¿verdad? Pero clave va a ser el formulario que esté firmado, autorizando que se le puede dar el examen.
and so there was another question about how will we know if the test was negative or not? ¿Cómo vamos a saber si el examen es negativo o no? Si lo toman por medio del Distrito de Los Ángeles, nos provee una lista. Si su hijo no lo toma en el distrito, su hijo no va a estar en la lista y vamos a necesitar un comprobante del examen. Okay, so if your child takes the COVID test through LAUSD, we will have a list that will let us know if your child tested positive or negative, or just if they tested negative, they will be allowed. If your child does not test with the district, then you will need to provide a paper copy of the test beforehand to ensure that they're going to be able to come into the school. Okay. There's a vaccine question, if they already got the vaccine.
Ahorita la póliza del distrito, la pregunta sobre la vacuna, todo empleado, estudiante, aunque ya haya tomado la vacuna, ¿verdad? De todas maneras tiene que tomar el examen. Así que aunque usted ya haya recibido las 2 dosis de la vacuna, es necesario que tome o que nos dé comprobante del examen. So whether you are an individual, student, adult, employee who already received the vaccine, we are still required to provide proof of a negative test, a recent negative test. And so, so please, we do ask that even if your child already received the vaccine by the 9th, there needs to be a negative COVID test a recent negative COVID test on file.
And then what if they're getting their second vaccine on that day of the culmination?
Okay, so that complicates a little bit more, but as long as they take their test before, and if I may add to it, I know that the district said, and whatever is presented here is based on what the district guidelines told us. They said 7 days prior, but here's the between this Wednesday, if your child takes the test this Wednesday, it's Wednesday, Thursday, we should be okay till the 9th. I know then that takes us to 13, 14 days, but it's a policy that we're following with our kids here on campus. So let's get this out of the way once again. So starting this Wednesday, if your child takes the test, we get a negative result, we should be okay for the 9th. If your child takes the test tomorrow, Tuesday, comes out negative, that's beyond the 2-week period. So from this Wednesday forward, we're going to be in a good situation. Así que quiero recalcar de que lo que se está presentando el día de hoy es lo que el distrito nos dio, ¿verdad? Pero existe una flexibilidad, así como existe la flexibilidad cuando los jóvenes están aquí con nosotros tomando clases. Si el joven viene a la escuela, se está dando el examen cada 7 días, ¿verdad? Si el joven no está aquí presente, él o ella todavía puede asistir a clases, nomás que tiene que asegurarse que tome el examen la próxima semana. A lo que voy, si usted se toma el examen de este miércoles en adelante, va a ser válido. Así que queremos recalcar de que es muy importante de que lo hagan desde el miércoles en adelante para que pueda estar en el sistema y no tener problemas ya cuando se aproxime el día 9.
Okay, thank you. So there's a lot of questions about the schedule. Hay muchas preguntas referente al horario. Okay, I'm just gonna go over really briefly again because as I'm looking, everybody has kind of the same questions. So this is the schedule. Este es el horario, okay? Comenzamos a las 8 y los estudiantes empiezan a llegar a las 9, okay? So si su maestro de su hijo de advisory es por decir Mr. Lee, ellos van a comenzar a las 3, o para las 3 ya tienen que estar ahí. Es a la hora que los vamos a empezar a dejar entrar a las 3, ¿ok? So, si su maestra es Miss Lumberg, entonces van a comenzar a entrar a las 2. Si su maestra es Miss Rosner, la maestra de advisory, entonces van a comenzar a entrar a las 11, ¿ok? So, yes, you do have to follow this schedule. So, sí es importante que sigan este horario, ¿ok? Porque, como les repetimos, necesitamos asegurarnos que mantengamos la distancia. No podemos tener mucha gente ahí a ese horario y corren el riesgo de que si llegan a un horario antes o un horario después, si tenemos mucha gente, vamos a ver qué es lo que vamos a hacer, pero es importante que sigan el horario. Okay, so it is important that you follow the schedule. I know there's a little bit of confusion on this. We will have the morning virtual ceremony, and then the actual procession is going to start at 9 o'clock with the following advisory teachers, Ms. Reese, Ms. Ziegler, Ms. Wickens. So if any of these teachers are your advisory teachers, you would need to be at Nimitz by 9 o'clock. The virtual ceremony, the 8 o'clock one, is not going to be a long one. It's not going to go on for an hour. It's probably going to go on for maybe 20 minutes at most, or maybe even less than that. It's going to be a quick message from the principal, a message from a student, and then we will follow to this, okay? So if your teacher is Mr. Murillo, you're going to come, you need to be at school by 1 o'clock. If your teacher is Ms. Corona, you need to be at school by 3 o'clock. Okay, so this is what we need to follow, and we do need to stick to it. There was also a question about how many people can we bring? Is it 3 and the student? Is it 2 and the student? So it's 3 additional people and the student, okay? So también había la pregunta de que cuántas personas podemos traer. Son 3 personas, so el estudiante y 3 personas más. También está la pregunta de que si tengo un niño de 3 años y lo cargo, no, esa persona, ese niño es una persona y cuenta como una persona, so solamente 3 personas. So sería el niño y 2 personas más y el estudiante, okay? So a 3-year-old counts as an additional person. So it's 3 people. So it's the student and 3 additional people. So if you have a 3-year-old that you want to bring, it would be the 3-year-old and 2 additional people. Okay, so we do have to follow these guidelines. Tenemos que seguir la guía del distrito y por eso solamente estamos dejando a 3 personas. Okay. And for the consent, el consentimiento, ese lo pueden bajar. I don't know, did you put the link? But me parece que Mr. González puso la link en el chat.
So no, we cannot put the link or file in the chat, so we will have to put it in the website, and that's going to be up by tomorrow morning.
Okay, so para que puedan agarrar el consentimiento, la hoja de consentimiento, la forma, la pueden hallar en la website de Nimitz. Okay, so you guys can find the consent form in the Nimitz website, and then you can fill it out and email it, or get it to us. Grades are due on Friday, this Friday. So las calificaciones se tienen que entregar este viernes. Ese es el último día de que los maestros van a poder entregar calificación. Así es que si su hijo necesita entregar trabajo, es importante que lo entregue antes de este viernes, ¿ok? Will they be retaking pictures, Mr. Gonzalez?
Wednesday, pictures Wednesday, June the 2nd.
But can they retake, or is it just the makeup?
Yeah, any questions pertaining to the cap and gown pictures, I do ask that they be addressed to Photorama. They're always very accommodating and they want to make a sale. That's the reality. So please contact Photorama for any questions pertaining to the cap and gown pictures. Se les pide que las preguntas que tengan relacionadas a las fotos, pónganse en contacto con Photorama, porque ellos siempre han sido bien flexibles con nosotros, ¿verdad? Y no creo que va a cambiar su póliza. Así que si quieren algún cambio, otras fotos, ¿verdad? Hablen con ellos a ver qué pueden arreglar. Pero aquí van a regresar el miércoles 2 de junio de 2:30 a 4:30.
And then the question about when will you receive a call? You should be receiving a call by the end of next week, Mrs. Parza. Yeah, by the end of next week. Al final de la próxima semana es cuando ustedes van a recibir, si es que su hijo no es elegible, van a recibir una llamada de la escuela indicando que su hijo no es elegible, okay? Can you bring balloons?
No, Ms. Pais, because the balloons could get into the electrical wires and things, and it could cause an issue.
Okay. Can they wear the cap and gown that they bought?
Well,
if that's their attire for the day, we're not providing that, but if parents bought them something, that's their picture at the stage, right, Mrs. Sparza?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think I clarified the schedule. Los papás no se tienen que hacer el examen, solamente los estudiantes. I don't know, is there any other questions that I haven't answered? I think I answered all of those already.
You want
Okay,
Should we try the Q&A or have they, right now? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
is there any question that I haven't answered that you might have maybe we should just let them?
Um,
or-
We saw some hands up,
What-
maybe try the hands.
Yeah, we have 3 hands up that we can call, and then I think most of the answers in the chat, questions in the chat were already addressed.
I think so too, yeah. Okay, so any questions? So do you want to?
Should we go with the first one, Ricardo, who's been waiting for
Yes.
a while? Okay. Ricardo, you can unmute yourself. Ricardo, you can, Ricardo Espino, please unmute yourself and you can feel free to ask your question. Okay, we'll move on to the next person, Verónica Martínez.
Sí, buenas tardes. Disculpe, ¿podrían repetir lo de la vestimenta y cuándo nos van a llamar para saber si los niños son elegibles para recibir el certificado? Por favor, no escuché bien.
Ok, so la vestimenta tiene que ser algo semiformal, que no sea como un tuxedo o un traje completo. Necesitamos algo semiformal, como si fueran a misa o como si fueran a una fiesta o algo similar, ¿ok? So, obvio tenemos que, hay ciertas cosas como un vestido de tirantito muy finito o muy delgado, no se va a permitir. Algo muy corto, una camisa que muestre el abdomen, no se permite. So, algo semiformal para un evento así. So, si tiene alguna pregunta, una duda o tiene algo en mente, me puede llamar a la escuela y le podemos dar más información. Si van a recibir una carta referente a cuál es el vestimiento esas las van a ojalá recibir para la próxima semana y para el final de la próxima semana, si su hijo no es elegible, entonces va a recibir una llamada para el final de la próxima semana. Por eso les pedimos que se aseguren que los números que tenemos en el sistema sean correctos y que el número de la escuela no esté bloqueado. So the question was, oh, were you going to say something? No. The question was, yeah?
I do have a question.
Oh, give me 1 second. So the question earlier was if they were going to, like, what was the dress code? Again, the dress code, something semi-formal, something that you would wear to a church, to a nice gathering. Nothing too fancy, no long tail dresses or things like that, no spaghetti strap, no crop tops. So anything that you might wear to a nice event. If you have questions, if you have something in mind and you're not sure, please feel free to contact me. And then the follow-up question to that was, when will I find out if he or she is not eligible? I will be making calls by next week. Just make sure your information in our school system is correct and that we have access to calling you from our school. Okay. Ricardo, your question?
Yeah, I'm confused for this schedule right here. Is it all depending on your advisory teacher? Because I have Miss Avila, but I don't know if it's at 4 or.
So Miss Avila is at 4, sweetie. So you see right here, Miss Avila, she's at 4. So you need to be at Nimitz by 4 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? I know there's some questions in
Next.
the chat, but
Oh, should I think Veronica Martinez, should we just keep going with the people with the raised hands?
Well, let's have Veronica if she's available. I know she was on earlier. Veronica, are you available? Are you there?
Oh, I'm sorry, I think we already
You just
addressed your question.
asked her question.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Danny, can continue with the raised hands.
Okay, next would be Alma Torres. Hello, Alma Torres. Can you unmute?
Yes, I want to know. Hello?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, I
go
want to
first.
know, what does the COVID testing for the children contain out? You know, what are the exams done for them? How is it done? Instead of not getting the injection, What is the, yeah, the test? What is the pretend, what does it have? I don't understand that.
So Mom, hi, this is Mr. Garcia. So the COVID test is a test that just identifies if the individual tests positive for the virus. It is like any other testing center. The school district uses cotton swabs that the student themselves do. And they have maybe what's the other one? Maybe they also take saliva sample. But all the test is for the school to check to see if the student is not testing positive for the COVID-19 virus. It's not a shot. The COVID test is not a vaccine. Vaccinations are totally different from the COVID test.
The students are not being required to take a COVID vaccine. They're required to take a COVID test, not a
Correct.
vaccine. Does that answer your question?
Okay,
Okay,
we
next.
could go next.
Okay, next we're gonna go with Marlene Mayorga.
Hello, Marlene.
Oh, Marlene is using an older version. Oh, I have to promote her to panelist. Sorry, Marlene. Can you just type in your question, Marlene, in the chat, please? And we're gonna go with Ricardo Espino.
I think we just did Ricardo Espino.
Okay, what about Cristina Cruz?
No, we can.
Go ahead, Cristina.
Hi, good evening. I have a question. So the children that have IEPs, let's just say they didn't reach that 50 credits, do they qualify to culminate, or it depends on her counselor?
So the answer to that question is if they're in the general program, they need to meet the requirements because those are the requirements of the district. If the students are in the alternate program, then they would be allowed to participate because they're on the alternate program.
Got you. An alternate program is
The IDM, IDS, and the autistic class.
Yes. Okay, got you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, so Marlene's Mayorga question is, does a 3-year-old baby count as one person? 3-month-old baby, sorry, 3-month-old. Un bebé de 3 meses cuenta como una persona.
Yes, it's a person.
Yeah,
All children count as a person.
Unfortunately, yes. Correct.
Okay, perfect. Next person, sorry, did we do Cristina Cruz already?
Yes.
Okay.
Destiny Valderrama.
Destiny. Destiny, sorry, you're using an older version of Zoom. Can you ask your question in the chat, please, Destiny? Then we're gonna go right with Alexis Knight.
Hi, my question is, will the culmination be available to view after it already took place?
Only the virtual portion is going to be available to view, not through the whole day.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. And then next person, Adrian Caldera.
Hi, quick question. She mentioned that we would be able to look at the fall report card for the credits, but it doesn't give you the credits. It only gives you the student's letter grade.
If it's it has to be the fall final report card. So you should have a grade for number 4. If you have a grade for number 4, right next to the grade, it should have a 5 or a 0 or a 2.5 for advisory. But
Maybe.
it has to be the final report card.
Okay, and when will that one be available?
That one came out back in December. That's for the fall.
Right, so when I go into Schoology and I go into the report card to see it, it doesn't give you the punctuation.
So if I would suggest that you get in contact with me, but basically if they got a D or better, it gave them the 5 credits. It has to be based on the fall final report card. So if you have that, when it was mailed out to you, I would highly recommend that you look at that. Because I don't know how, I'm pretty sure the Schoology grades are accurate, but you would have to then see and add up for every class that they pass with the D or better, it's 5 credits, except for advisory, it would be 2.5.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So team, there's several questions that I'm looking at in the Q&A about, can we turn in our Chromebooks, textbooks early? When's the latest that I could turn in my Chromebooks and textbooks? Those are a lot of the questions in the Q&A.
So the Chromebooks are going to be used by the students and the books. So that's why they're turning them in on the day that they culminate, because then they no longer need those books to use. So they shouldn't be turned in early because the students should still be using those books. So that's why we made a drop off before you come in to participate in the culmination. You will drop off the items there before you enter.
Sorry, is this the day that they're culminating that they're going to drop off? So
Yes.
June 9th, Wednesday,
Yes.
June 9th, that's when all 8th graders should drop off their books or start dropping off their technology and books.
Yes. Do we have any more hands raised, Danny?
Yeah, we do have hands raised, but what about if they can't attend, and when can they drop off the books? If they can't attend culmination, when can they drop off books?
So if they can attend the culmination, they can drop off the books the following day. So either one of the next 2 days, they could bring their books on those days, either the 10th or the 11th.
Okay, perfect. I think let's go with 2 more. We have 2 more people on the queue with raised hands. And Isabella, can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Sí, buenas tardes. Mira, tengo una pregunta. En los resultados de del pase diario de mi hija y mío, me dice una prueba futura. Mi resultado es negativo. ¿Eso quiere decir que mi fecha está vigente y no necesito uno actual?
Señora, si tomó el examen antes de este miércoles, va a tener que tomar un segundo examen, aunque sea negativo, ¿verdad? Es que sí se le va a pedir que se lo vuelva a tomar. So the question has to do with if the test has already been taken, let's say today or previously, but if it's before Wednesday, students will be required to take another test leading up to the 9th of June.
Ok, ¿cuánto es más o menos la fecha que tengo, cómo le puedo explicar? ¿Que dura el pase vigente o es cada semana que lo tengo que hacer? Que lo hice recientemente, apenas hace 2 semanas.
Sí, preferible es cada semana, ¿verdad? Pero el distrito ofrece la flexibilidad de que sea después de 2 semanas. Ahorita un ejemplo, si un joven viene a las clases, si el último examen excede los 14 días, no le permitimos entrar aquí a la escuela. Ok, so, dígame.
Está bien, ya le entendí, muchas gracias.
Okay, so the question has to do with the testing, the district ideally would want kids to test every week, but he's applying the policy that we have in place right now for those kids that are coming on campus. If they exceed those 14 days, are not allowed to be on campus, or employees for that matter. So no one is allowed to be on campus beyond 14 days of having their previous test.
Okay, perfect. Next is Cirilo Alejandra. Sorry, Alejandra, can you write your question on the chat? I cannot unmute you. Next is Mary Grace Munoz. You too, can you please write your question in the chat? You guys are using an older version of older technology. And then Adrian Gutierrez, next. Adrian, oh, there you go.
Pregunta. Buenas tardes. Mi pregunta es, ¿también para los papás o solo para los alumnos?
El examen requerido para los alumnos nomás.
Oh, esa era mi pregunta. Gracias.
A los papás se les va a pedir que tomen que hagan el chequeo médico al entrar aquí, ¿verdad? Se les va a hacer algunas preguntas y y también toma la temperatura. Pero ideal, si pueden activar el pase, el Daily Pass, nos va a facilitar y nomás va a requerir que tome la temperatura aquí al entrar. So again, the COVID test is only for students. That's a requirement. We're all going to go through a screening process. We're all going to have the temperature check, but ideally we would like for you to activate a daily pass for that day for June the 9th.
Okay. Next, Francisco Robles. Francisco, go ahead and unmute. There you go.
Hi, yes, this is his wife. We want to have the daily pass completed, but it's asking for the parent portal pin, and how can I receive that? I have mine, but my husband doesn't have his.
Yes, if you call I believe counselors should have Miss Esparza. Do you have the pin, or Miss Pais? I think all counselors have the.
I think Heidi has it, Mr. Gonzalez.
Okay, so when you call, I do ask that you call the parent center. Now keep in mind that if both parents are on record in the kids' records, then there should be a pin assigned to you. If there's only one parent, then the district has not assigned one to dad in this case. But call the school tomorrow. Please ask for Heidi in our parent center, and she can go ahead and provide you with the pin. Padres que todavía se tienen que registrar en el portal de padres, les recomendamos que lo hagan no nomás por este motivo, sino que para que puedan mantener comunicación y acceso a la información de sus hijos. Pero si todavía les van a pedir que tengan un PIN, un número de acceso, llamen a la escuela, pidan por Heidi en el centro de padres y él les va a poder ayudar.
I just want to clarify, there's a question that I see. Will you be sending out the PowerPoint for us to reference? The PowerPoint that's presented tonight, the parents are asking, is it going to be posted somewhere that they could go back and look at it?
Yes, tomorrow we will have the PowerPoint on the website, so you can just see, or this meeting, today's webinar is being recorded, so we will be putting this on the website. So you guys can pause and look over stuff that you guys missed.
Thank you.
Okay, last question with the raised hand is Flores Eliosa. Sorry, I butchered your name. Can you, Flores Cano, can you, I cannot unmute you, but can you write your question on the chat, please? Okay, I think while we wait for Eliosa to write her question, are there any other questions in the chat in the Q&A?
Yes, there's several, but one, and Mr. Gonzalez says, do we get back the headphones and portable Wi-Fi? Or Danny?
So the headphones students keep because the students have been using the headphones all for these many months. But yes, please return the Wi-Fi, the hotspots. They're little black boxes. Some of them are T-Mobile, some of them are Alcatel, or some may be Verizon. Please return the hotspot with the charger, and of course your Chromebook.
Sorry, go
Mr.
ahead.
Gonzalez, can you repeat that about the Wi-Fi in Spanish?
Sí, los dispositivos para el Wi-Fi se les pide que por favor los entreguen, al igual que con el cargador, ¿verdad? Ya los audífonos, ya sus hijos ya tienen semanas, meses con ellos, ¿verdad? No se les está pidiendo que los regresen, pero ya sea el Chromebook, el iPad y los dispositivos para la internet, se les pide que por favor lo entreguen ese día.
There's a question that I do want to address. Hay una pregunta que dice si los niños entregan los trabajos antes del viernes son elegibles a la culminación. No necesariamente, porque es posible que el porcentaje sea muy bajo y a lo mejor no tienen suficiente porcentaje para recibir la calificación necesaria. So es caso por caso. Necesita ver el Schoology de su hijo o de su hija para asegurarse que tenga una D o mejor. So the question was, if my child turns in all the work by Friday, does that make him or her eligible? Not necessarily. It depends on the percentage that they have in the class. It's case by case. I suggest that by Friday or by possibly Tuesday, you check the Schoology to see if the stuff that was turned in has been graded, or if he or she has fails. Your child has access to that. They have access to their grades. You can have them open up their Schoology and they can show you their grades if you don't have access to it yourself through your account.
Also, I want to address Mr. Gonzalez, a question about on the day of culmination, can we park in the teacher's parking lot?
No.
Let's keep in mind that on June the 9th, we still have our 6th graders and our 7th graders are still here, and our teaching staff. So no, parking is not allowed on campus. And so, and as we know, parking is limited in our adjacent streets. So please, just plan accordingly. La pregunta que relacionada al estacionamiento, acceso al estacionamiento aquí en la escuela. Todavía el personal de la escuela todavía va a estar aquí, todavía tenemos clases para los del 6º y 7º grado, así que aquí el estacionamiento no va a estar disponible para padres y pedimos que uno planee adecuadamente, ¿verdad? Reconociendo de que el espacio de estacionamiento está limitado aquí en las calles alrededor de la escuela.
So team, I want to honor the time. It's already going to approach 7:30. And I want to have the parents, I know we still have quite a few parents online, but I'm wondering if we could give the parents an opportunity to, of course, call the school or stop by and visit us in the front of the school. We're here every day so that we could answer the questions that we might not have gone to them, but whatever message you want to give our parents. Is that okay? Okay. Padres, ya estamos llegando a las 7:30 y yo sé que tal vez hay algunas otras preguntas, pero quiero honorar el tiempo. Aquí estamos en la escuela Nimitz, estamos todo el día, todos estos días. Pueden venir en persona a frente en la puerta principal o pueden hablar a la escuela. Podemos preguntar muchas de sus preguntas. Como escucharon, van a ver esta presentación en el webpage otra vez después de esta junta. Y estamos disponibles antes del día 9 de junio para contestar sus preguntas. Pero there's one more question. Jennifer Robles raised her hand, Danny.
Yes, I can unmute Jennifer. Let me see if I can. Go ahead, Jennifer. Jennifer Robles.
Buenas
Hello.
tardes.
Sí.
Soy la mamá de Jennifer.
Buenas tardes, señora.
Buenas tardes. Mire, mi pregunta es, ¿cuántas personas pueden acompañar al
estudiante? Entonces, señora, es muy simple, ya lo hemos hablado y les voy a decir, nomás 3. Es el estudiante y 3 personas. Bebé o hasta una persona de edad mía, son cada persona, bebé o una persona mayor, es una persona. Entonces, 3 y el estudiante.
Ok,
Gracias.
gracias a ustedes.
Muy bien. So team, Mrs. Sparza, if you're okay, I think we're going to end the meeting. I know there's some other questions we haven't answered, but I believe we did send most of the message. Parents, please, you're more than welcome to call the school or visit us or send us emails. Most of the questions were answered. There might be a little bit of clarification, or they might be an individual question. Reach the school. The administrators are here, counselors are here, other personnel are here, and more than willing to answer those questions before June 9th. And with that being said, I would like to go ahead, Mrs. Pais.
Oh, just really quick, also remember that we will be sending a letter home. So you will be receiving a letter home next week with all this information, including dress code. This schedule is going to be on there, the dates that we're going to have the COVID testing. So all this information is going to be mailed out to you. If you don't receive it, please feel free to contact us.
Great. Padres van a recibir una carta con toda la información, como acaba de decir la señorita País, pero también si tienen preguntas particular, por favor háblelo a la escuela y le vamos a ayudar. Entonces, con eso vamos a terminar nuestra unión hoy. Les doy las gracias a todos ustedes y felicidades, clase de 2021. Congratulations, class of 2021. We look forward to seeing you on June 9th. Esperamos de verlos el día 9 de junio para esta ceremonia. And to my participants, thank you, Mr. Gonzalez, Ms. Pais, Mr. Relas, and Ms. Esparza for your information. Muy bien, que pasen buenas tardes. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.